1015 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh! I hear we're changing the name from the Mark Hoke Show to the Gunther Show.
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
Marcos. That way they can't trademark my name.
There you go.
It's a funny story that you mentioned that, though, by the way, because there's a reason when I used to do the poker show for all those years, why I made it the Mark Hoke Show. Because
Hoke and poker can rhyme?
We had other names before that, and I had some bad business partners I worked with. And I realized that on the second screw job that I got, that I need to keep the name or have the name be my name so no one else could steal it. That way, nobody, this is like the last partner had the name booked up behind my back and all this stuff. And
like if the show was called The Royal Flush with Mark
Right.
Hoke. Yeah, someone
Right.
could steal that. I got you.
Right. So, yeah. So it is, that's the reason that I have it as the Mark Hoke Show.
What was his name?
Whose name? Captain Screwjob out there in North Carolina?
Vince McMahon?
His name does not utter, that person's name does not come out of my lips. It was a disaster at the end. Anyway, I'm Mark Hoke. There you got a business lesson for the day. That man, who, by the way, I got to mention this, has a Mountain Dew and a Starbucks in front of him right now.
It's Sunday morning, and I worked last night till close.
That is, dear God, stay awake desperation on the part of Andrew Fish Fain.
That is correct.
Fish, how are you?
I'm, as I said, I worked till close last night, and here I am at, early this morning. So I'll let you decide.
Oh, what was me?
But I do it because I do it just.
A blanket and a pillow in front of me.
I do it just because I love you, Joe.
And of course,
I'm going back to sleep.
and of course, on the line is the overlord, the king, the master of the domain of future stars of wrestling here in Las Vegas. He is the effervescent, the super perky, loves the morning, Joe DeFalco, everybody. Joe, what's up?
Just watching ESPN and hearing Aaron Rodgers. How pathetic was that game?
But it did put a big smile to my face, and boy, Aaron Rodgers is getting lambasted today on Twitter.
If he would have just got vaccinated, they would have won,
Touche.
That is funny. Oh, my God. Well, we're here to talk pro wrestling for the next 90 minutes.
Woohoo.
The station has gone insane, and not only do they give me time on Saturday night, which, by the way, I talked to Joe DeFalco more than my daughter in the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
Just like
heard they gave us a raise. Is that rumor true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm waiting.
It's damn true.
It's damn true. Oh, my God.
Believe that.
Do we have any more little wrestling tropes we want to throw out?
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen.
All right, because I'm gonna train, say my prayers, and eat my vitamins now.
See? There we go.
Oh, but Joe, of course, and I did the show on Saturday night, and we're back here they're giving us 90 minutes again today, so we're going to take advantage of it and enjoy ourselves and talk some wrestling for a while. Should be.
Yeah, I heard the ratings are way better when I'm on than that other dude.
It's me. It's all me. No, it's not. No, I got a good team around here. But I guess to start, some goofy stuff going on in WWE.
You want to start there? Or you want to start with any AEW stuff and keep AEW because there's a lot of WWE stuff with the Rumble coming up.
We're going to talk Royal Rumble, of course. We got our predictions and the betting odds are out, and they're hilarious, by the way.
What's Johnny Knoxville?
We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk Rumble for a while and get our predictions out. But a few shall we say, personnel issues in WWE right now. They're kind of goofy. First one, our good buddy Mustafa Ali tried to get his release. Of course, Toni Storm just kind of walked off the job. They let her go. But not Ali. No.
Oh, see, I didn't hear the update to that story. I know that he asked for his release. They're not letting him go?
He decided to do this whole video package saying...
What a work.
Yeah. Nice, hey, I'm not happy. I have a message to send, and I can't do it in WWE, so I'm asking for my release. Well, I guess WWE didn't, because he's got a few years left on his contract, decided that, well, nope, no, you're staying, buddy.
That's right. There's going to be some retribution there.
Nicely done.
Nice. So Toni Storm walks off the job and gets to go. Mustafa Ali wants to go. Of course, does it in a public manner, which we're finding out is not the best way to deal with your boss. And he's staying. So what guys' thoughts on...
I was going to say, first of all, what's the message that he can't get out in WWE that he wants to get out? And second of all, are they going to force him to wrestle?
Well, he's under contract, so yeah.
Well, I think they should do what they did with Diesel and Razor Ramon. They should make Mansoor change his name to Mustafa Ali.
The fake Mustafa, yes.
Yeah, because, he won't be missed.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the interesting part about it too is, as he is great, and he was
absolutely, he's very talented,
and he unfortunately an injury derailed his push a few years ago, which led to Kofi Mania, because Ali was headed towards a world title program.
Yeah, Ali Mania was going to run wild.
Yeah, it was
on you.
He's not running wild on me.
That guy never got near as over as Kofi Kingston ever did.
No, he did not.
They just decided they were going to push him for some reason. He drew the big straw, I guess, that time.
He was like Ricochet before Ricochet.
Yeah, remember he was the heart of 205 Live.
A very talented performer, but it's interesting that WWE decided to hang on to him because when it comes down to it, you see the Roman Reigns the needle mover T-shirt. I'm the needle mover. Is Ali really going to move the needle if he goes to AEW or Impact or anything like that? I don't know.
As good as he is, he's going to be a mid-carder wherever he goes, isn't he? He's not going to go to but he's not going to go into AEW and instantly challenge Hangman Page for the world title,
right? So what's the big deal?
I was going to say more people care about Christian, who's 50 years old, than Mustafa Ali. He never got the run. He got hurt, and just like with Finn Balor, you get hurt. You got to restart that career back at the bottom, and there's 30 of him. So. Why not just say, you know what? Let's take another $500,000 off the budget and get rid of the guy, and that's another more money to be made. I think it's just the defiance of him doing it. Probably without their knowledge, he came out and did it. Well, we're going to show him. It's like, yeah, whatever.
I think that's part of it too. And there was also a situation where apparently a few months before this, he and Vince McMahon got into a massive argument about the direction of his character. That it got pretty heated. So this.
I think there's also an idea of precedence being set in the sense that if Ali says I want out of my contract, they go fine, okay, we'll release you. Then all of a sudden anyone can start asking to be released, and the precedence will be WWE is just going to release guys who ask to be released. So there's no point in having a contract if everyone's just going to ask to be released and then get released.
No, we're going to pay you. That's your punishment. You're going to get paid to stay home.
Yeah,
what a punishment.
Yeah, that is rough.
No, but my point being is people will constantly then ask to be released and expect to be released if they're going to just start releasing people that ask for it.
Right. And WWE's under no obligation to do so.
Right.
Now they're known the other way for letting people go too, and the contracts don't mean a whole lot. to WWE.
Well,
so
it does go both ways. You could say whatever you want when they released Toni Storm because she kind of walked out or whatever. They could have chose to do the same thing, but obviously they chose not to for some reason. And, Mustafa Ali really, that retribution angle failed miserably. And is that his fault? No, but they gave him an opportunity, and the crowd didn't respond. So whose fault is it? I don't know. But, again, they push who they want to push. And, he unfortunately got hurt during his cycle, and now he's never gotten that cycle back.
Yep. So we'll see. It's interesting, and then it obviously it creates an overall picture of, if you say you want to go, who do you let you let Tony go, but you don't let Ali go. So
right. They let FTR go. They've let tons of people who really didn't want to be there go.
Yeah.
And FTR at least was considered one of the best tag teams in wrestling, and they were like, okay, see you.
Yeah, it's interesting the decisions they're making right now.
No, absolutely. The problem with Retribution was it was great when it was called Nexus.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they're also going to be doing a Saudi Arabian show, so they really need Mustafa Ali on the show.
I thought just Mansoor was in. No?
Yeah, Mansoor.
Well, yeah, that's true. They were going to be the new terrorist tag team.
Yeah, Mansoor is going to win the Elimination Chamber or whatever they're going to call it in Saudi Arabia.
I want to know, more importantly, what the argument was over about the direction of the character and how he was involved in a conversation with Vince McMahon.
Well, it's funny you say the terrorist thing because, to be honest with you, I'm betting it was something along those lines. It had to be. It had to be some sort of racial stereotype character that he was
going to bring Muhammad Hassan back, I heard. I don't know.
That poor guy. I felt
the
dude was actually a good wrestler. He was gonna wrestle for the world title and everything, and then he just
9/11
9/11 thing.
That angle was huge. I loved Muhammad Hassan. He got built up in no time to feud with the Undertaker, and he got pushed to the moon, but the crowd cared. And he was the guy they could have put the belt on. Daivari was perfect as the mouthpiece for the dude.
Yeah.
And they have to have an attack in England or something in Europe or whatever it was, and it was just like
that's what it was.
They panicked, and it was it.
Yeah. So
I read number 1 USA Tui. Oh, sorry, that was Iron Sheik.
Poor Italian guy, Muhammad Hassan. That guy.
Well, speaking of more racial stereotypes in professional wrestling.
The best part.
We had another little issue with the boys in NXT.
Oy.
Oh dear Lord, this is and this one breaks my heart because you guys know I love Walter. I think the world of the dude in the ring. So WWE, if you missed this story, dear God, someone in the secretarial pool or something was not up to snuff. WWE tried to trademark the name Gunther Stark, and they're going to change Walter's name to Gunther Stark. So he's Austrian, so you're trying to get the German influence in there. So, and that's his name is Walter, so they don't want him to be able to use that. So they want to screw him and give him a fake name.
Well, I heard Tony Stark was taken, so they his name.
I questioned that part of the name,
I will tell you this, Tony Stark would be a better choice than Gunther Stark.
It would have been a better...
I'm going to give you my take. My take was he was going to get married to Zoe Stark and take her name. I don't know why it's a big deal.
Well,
which is weird because they were going to have two people that weren't related with the same last name, which is weirder than what they were trying to do because they never do that. They don't even want to do two of the same first names, let alone Zoe Stark's already established in NXT. Why would you bring this guy in with the same last name unless you planned on doing something in an angle with their last name?
Yeah, something like naming a guy after a Nazi commander who died in a submarine sinking.
Well, if you dig deep down, there's a lot of names that probably have some bad meaning down the line. You can't, it was probably really hard to find when they were, deep diving on Google.
But it's hard to believe. And,
Yes, but
and that
you
wasn't
see
a
that,
joke.
but-
That was not a joke about the Nazi commander, by the way.
I know, but you see what Joe said? It was a U-boat commander, and he was deep diving. See,
Yes,
that was,
I heard it. I heard Joe, and I ignored it. Anyway, but Gunther Stark was the name of a Nazi commander. No one Googled it. No one
well, no one at WWE Googled
no one
it.
WWE Googled it. But when they heard the name was coming out, oh dear God. So he comes out on NXT 2.0 and just says he wins his match. Just says my name's Gunther.
But there's no,
So,
but it was stupid because there was no explanation, no nothing. It was just all of a sudden, my name's Gunther.
So now, how much sense does that make? You're Walter or you're Gunther?
And the entire
Now-
match, they were calling him Walter.
Yeah. Up until then, and then he says, "I changed my."
He didn't even say no. I think he actually said the winner is Gunther.
Something along those lines.
Well, now at least more than 7 WWE fans know who Walter is. So now he can get that push against Lesnar that you guys didn't want.
You know that is not true.
Maybe he'll turn on Dominic Mysterio.
Stop it. Get out of this booth.
Mysterio was in my facility the other day. There you go, Fish, with Ray. They were training with my guy, Disco Inferno.
Did you ask if he was going to turn on him?
I was waiting to see him do it right there in a line with Disco.
Special video out of Future Stars of Vegas. Dominic turns on Ray. Says, I did it because of Fish.
Fish's prediction comes true. That's the headline.
God, that would...
Yeah, but it got kind of awkward because Disco started hitting on Ray's daughter, so,
Oh, hey now.
Ayo.
Buddy Murphy out?
If I say
Disco
nobody
Inferno,
Murphy? Yeah.
Oh, I hope Glenn's listening. That would be funny.
He's
Anyway,
getting more publicity now than he's gotten in a long time.
yeah. Well, so obviously a little bit of another disaster on WWE's part. Boy, they just...
But you would think a company like WWE, all joking aside, would do their research. I mean, it doesn't take
And that
much.
research takes 10
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly. It doesn't take much to Google it. But I thought
Or they did do the research and they thought it would be catchy and nobody would catch it. And, they would have their own little, for many years, WWE has put names out there just to be spiteful and just to think they're funny.
They have. Virgil
It's
would be
Vince
one that comes
McMahon
to
humor.
mind.
That Vince McMahon humor is second to none.
what's the joke with Virgil?
You don't know?
No,
Seriously?
seriously.
Wow, you are in 2-minute penalty box for not knowing that.
It has to do with Dusty Rhodes.
That's Dusty Rhodes. That's his name.
Yes, I knew that. I knew
So
that.
they
Yeah, that's why they named his manservant.
to Ted
Ted
DiBiase.
DiBiase.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know
You
that.
didn't
was,
know that?
No,
Virgil,
I didn't know that.
Virgil Runnels is Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, and that I knew. I didn't, but I didn't realize the line of thinking there.
Mm-hmm. They didn't like each other.
No, obviously that's why they made him wear polka dots.
Yeah, and among
Well,
other
that
things.
too. Everything has this backdoor meaning that people usually don't know, and it gets kind of like figured out, and stuff we hear about later. Kind of like I saw the Stephanie Macho Man stuff getting a little bit of a. Basically, people were talking about that again, about them being together, and I heard some really weird stuff about it. But it was like, oof.
Oh, well, we won't get into that. That referring to the potential romance that happened between Randy Savage and
A young Stephanie
a
McMahon.
younger Stephanie McMahon. But we won't. We won't.
Randy Macho Man Savage McMahon Jr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck you like a monkey.
Triple H almost got replaced. Yeah. Anyway, this is the Mark Hoke Show. We're talking pro wrestling here on KDWN
Doing bad
1015.
Macho Man impersonations.
That wasn't bad.
I thought it was the Maury Povich show we were getting ready to do.
You
You
are the
started
father.
it. Joe, you started it. I don't want to hear it.
Oh.
KDWN 1015 FM 720 AM. Oh, the best in pro wrestling most of the time. But oh dear Lord.
We're huge in where's the new place we were huge in?
Bangladesh.
We
Bangladesh.
got Bangladesh, Uzbekistan.
That's it. The Uzbekis. Love the Uzbekis.
It was Bangladesh, Uzbekistan, and I know I'm forgetting the other new nation.
Are
that
they
has
listening
joined
to us
the
in the
family.
Ukraine?
Venezuela.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Venezuela.
We're right behind Borat in Uzbekistan as popularity. So
I think we're ahead. But, of course, we're referring to those great downloads of the Mark Hoke Show. Go to markhokeshow.podbean.com, or, of course, it's available on all your favorite outlets. Check it out. You know, we had somebody in Delaware really liked the show last week, by the way. We had that week off. and side story here, someone downloaded about 30 episodes of the show. Or it was like 4 people that downloaded
That's because
it was crazy.
They want to make sure they didn't miss a story arc of the show.
So I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And go back, listen to all our old
basically
shows.
it's going to be
It was Joe Biden
scheme. They're going to take the emails and chop all the things together, and it's going to sound like you said some really bad things on the air.
Great.
It was President Biden in Delaware that downloaded the show.
I heard of some guy from North Carolina who did it, but I don't know.
That Biden could barely buckle his belt, much less know what a turnbuckle is. But that's another story. Anyway, we cut down our time before the break coming up. So the topic that I was going to hit, I'm going to save because I wanted to talk a little bit about Seth Rollins and the great job he's doing.
Seth freaking Rollins.
What is up with that?
Say that on the air. I know there's a new mandate. Is that a legal term we're allowed to use?
We can say freaking. Just make sure you enunciate.
So I can't.
Poor Jared's in the booth back there. Like, no! But
there is a 7-second delay. The guy can hit it. Pay attention on there.
Oh, we can hit it. But it's a long story. Holy cow. But I and we're going to get into the Royal Rumble odds and all that fun stuff later on during the show too. But I did want to mention, your friend Killer Cross showed up in the news a little bit.
Yes.
It looks like he and Adam Shearer, the former Braun Strowman, and EC3, they're getting busy in the Middle East.
You know where Braun Strowman got his name from, though, by the way?
Sure, interrupt this too.
You were talking about people's names.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's because he was a big fan of Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers. That's how he came up with the Braun part.
All right, that's
which
cool.
I thought was interesting, just because that's not why you think of him as Braun. You think Braun's strength, but it was because of Ryan Braun. Nice. So there you go.
Okay.
And he's injured as much as him, so it works out good.
Not quite the Virgil Runnels story, and I'm not going to say that anything about steroids using as much as Ryan Braun. But.
Good Lord, we are just everywhere right now.
So are you saying my guy Cross is going to Dubai? Because I saw that Strowman and EC3 were.
Yeah, they are. Cher and EC3 are competing as a tag team in Dubai on March 7th. And Cross is apparently going to.
So they had to find somebody to do it.
Yeah, so apparently Cross is going to be headed out that way too. Doing a show, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, and I think it's fascinating that Shearer has said, "I don't want to sign with anybody right now. I'm burned. I was burned out. I need some time to just do my thing." The profitability for these guys, Joe, are you able to make more money doing this than working at WWE or something like that, or is it just for the freedom for a while?
Well, I remember talking with Matt Hardy a lot, and people were like, "Oh, Matt Hardy, look at this guy." Matt Hardy was working, let's say every Friday, Saturday, we'll say a couple Sundays. So he'd be working like 10 shows a month, okay? And for his price, he was bringing in, I would say, at least $250,000. But the difference is, even if he was making $500 or $750 at WWE, he would have to rent a hotel every time he did it. He'd have to rent a car. When Matt Hardy gets brought into an independent company, we have to fly him in. We have to put him in a hotel. There's probably a bunch of people that are going to feed him too.
Yeah, so
and then on top of that, he's going to also have his merch sales. And that's why Matt Hardy would lower his price instead of a guy like, say, Morrison at the time. Morrison would charge kind of a lot more, but John was trying to make movies, and he didn't really want to wrestle all the time. So he would throw out a bigger number. RVD, same way, would throw out a huge number. If you paid it, great. If not, he'll stay at home and take his money.
There you go. Joe, we got to go to break, so we'll let you finish that thought, and then when we get back, we are going to talk about, is Seth Rollins the best wrestler in WWE? Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
Don't miss the Trading Group Show, Sundays at noon on KDWN. Learn how you can earn a full-time income working from home as a trader. That's the Trading Group Show, Sundays at noon. The question line is 888-646-8787.
Hello, attorneys Judah Zakalik and Xenophon Peters here from Panda Law Firm.
Did you know that Panda Law Firm handles debt settlement and bankruptcy?
This means when you call Panda for help with your debt, our attorneys can talk to you about all your debt relief options.
And Panda attorneys can do things that other debt companies can't.
Like defend you if you get sued by a creditor, stop garnishments, and help you rebuild your credit once you're out of debt.
When you need help with your debt, be sure you're calling Panda Law Firm, voted Best of Las Vegas Gold for the 3rd year in a row.
Call Panda Law, 702-818-3888.
Imagine a time when no one person has Parkinson's disease, is debilitated by a stroke, and no family suffers the tragedy of Alzheimer's. Some of the best minds in America are doing more than imagining. The American Brain Foundation is seeking to find cures, where life without brain disease isn't just something we can imagine, it's something we can know.
Join Kevin Sorbo in the fight to cure brain disease. For more information, visit AmericanBrainFoundation.org.
1015 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
This show has already devolved into chaos.
Sort of like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, something like that.
Every 90 seconds, a new host is going to come on.
You guys, this is the fun part about doing the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 1015 FM, 720 AM on Sunday morning.
Plug.
Because we either get, usually I'm pretty peppy. He had some health issues, so, wasn't the super peppiest the past few weeks. But the wild card here is, how awake is Joe? How grumpy is Fish? And today, it's just been like everybody's got edibles and we're just prancing around like a bunch of goofballs. It's weird. This is weird. I don't even know what to say.
I'm enjoying it.
Andrew Fish Fain's enjoying it. Joe DeFalco from Future Stars of Wrestling is enjoying it. Joe, I wanted to let you finish your thought, and then we're going to have a little Seth Rollins chat.
Seth freaking Rollins chat.
So,
the thing with Strowman is he's a guy that left on $1 million contract, and he's also a guy that didn't struggle on his ways up the independent circuit and stuff like that. So he has a different mindset. So, I'm doing the math at the break. His contract is $80,000 to $100,000 a month. And now I know why he is asking for such huge money. And he says, well, I'm not really looking to sign because these companies don't run near the WWE, and nobody's going to pay him that kind of money. And, he thinks that all these people, just like when he hit me up with his price, he priced himself out of tons of bookings. But if he saved his money well, then, he's just going to pick and choose and do it and work with EC3, and he's trying to do tag matches so he doesn't have to bump as much, and he's going to come in, and he's not going to really put his body's going to be flown to wherever he's got to go, and he's going to work, probably 2 or 3 times a month. So he'll go to Dubai, and I've learned from talking to people, they pay extremely well, to come in. They get to hang out for a week. They get to be treated like kings. So, Braun Strowman going to Ring of Honor or Impact, it's just not financial to what he was used to making. So that's why he probably has no interest in signing.
There you go.
Now, the question I had, when a guy like Braun Strowman is released from WWE, do they get like a buyout like they do in other sports, or do they still just have to pay him whatever they owe him on that contract? Or is it just, that's it, you're done and we're not paying you?
No, it seems like that's why they have the 90-day clause. So there's obviously outs in all their contract, because then why would they release a guy if I got to pay you the $1 million to stick around for a year? Well, then there's no sense in releasing you. So the way I guess it works is, okay, you're getting $100,000 a month, and in 3 months we're releasing you. So you'll make that $300,000. You can't work anywhere with the 90-day no compete, because everybody does get paid to that period of time. But, I was talking yesterday about the AEW not releasing the guys. And it's like, well, they may not have that in their contract that they can release a guy even though they have a contract and not have to pay him. And that's why guys like they talked about with Brian Cage and Joey Janela and Marco Stunt, that, oh, look at them, they're really good guys. They're still paying these guys, yet they're not using them. Well, maybe their contract states that they can't just release them, and they have like in baseball, in football, especially now. But in baseball, you sign a contract and you're garbage, and we release you. You're still going to get paid your $20 million.
Right. I mean, and Leo Rush, by the way, another name AEW apparently is going to be leaving the company.
Yes, that's
for the fourth time.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I was, I watched SmackDown last night, and one thing that has really stood out to me, we talked about with everything that happened with Roman Reigns and the COVID and throwing all their plans off here at day one. Who's gonna step in to save the day? Who's gonna step in to be the person that Roman Reigns is gonna have a credible opponent at the Royal Rumble?
Seth freaking Rollins.
And it turned out they went to Seth Rollins, and he has done a magnificent job. I've got to give him a ton of credit. They pulled that thing together well. The video packages and the history and everything, and Seth Rollins' just performances overall have been fantastic. And one thing that I was thinking I wanted to ask you guys about and get your opinion is Seth Rollins the best in the world right now? In terms of the overall voice crack, in terms of the overall package of being versatile, being somewhat of a leader in the locker room, being able to do everything in the ring that he needs to do and carry a storyline, is he the guy that you would build around? Is he the best person that you could have in your organization at this point to carry you?
I think whole package, yeah. I mean, he does he's excellent on the mic. I think he pulls off whatever character you need him to pull off, whether it's the guy he is now or the Kingslayer or Beast Slayer that he was before. And I think that his wrestling ability is second to none as well in the ring. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and he can have great matches with high flyers. He can have great matches with big, strong guys. It doesn't matter who he's facing. It's credible that he could win or lose that match.
Yeah, Joe, what do you think about that? I mean, the other guy that comes to mind is Bryan Danielson, but is Seth Rollins the man? Really?
I wouldn't say that, because I think there's numerous guys that when they get put into the right situation, they are going to shine. And Seth Rollins is as talented as there's going to be, but between WWE and say an AJ Styles, it's like, he's forced to, he came in and he was hot as a firecracker. They put the belts on him, and he was over as over can be. And now what was asked of him was to, help this big guy who can't wrestle and try to make him, a big star. But WWE has enough of, or not enough, but they have a lot of those guys that can step right in and be the man if need be. So, Seth Rollins in the top 10? Absolutely. Is he in the top 5? Most likely. Is he number 1? I couldn't really give you a number 1 just because there's so many guys. And the reason it's working so well is because of the history. If Moxley was there, it would be the same thing you'd be saying with Roman Reigns, because, Rollins and Moxley, they grinded their way to the top, and all of a sudden Roman Reigns, when they brought in the Shield, was a guy that wasn't even ever on NXT. They just liked the look, they liked the lineage, and all of a sudden he was placed and probably able to be carried by those two guys. So everything Seth Rollins says when it comes to feuding with Roman Reigns is the truth. And anytime you can have as much truth in a storyline as possible, people salivate for that, because that's what they want to believe, that there's tension, as much as people try to tell you how everything is scripted, everything's fake, everything's this. People want to believe.
And that brings up a question, because on Friday night, Seth Rollins on SmackDown, Seth Rollins said something, and I don't know if it was scripted or not. You seem to think that it was given the okay, Mark, that Seth Rollins called him he called him Mox as opposed to calling him Dean Ambrose when he was talking about when they were in the Shield together. And he said, and the direct quote was, "When you and Mox were together in the Shield." I've never heard him referred to as anything but Dean Ambrose in WWE. Do you think that was a slip, or was that actually scripted and Vince McMahon gave it the okay?
Never a slip.
Yeah,
but
there's no way that doesn't
exactly
get on the air.
What's going to be said in terms, and it may have been where it was in the script said Dean Ambrose, and they were like, "Hey, what if I say Moxley?" Because, especially now, hey, Guess what? He just came back from a really long absence. You throw that name out. People know the name. He used that name before WWE. He used the name after WWE. They want to shock people. And even though it wouldn't shock me, it'll shock the majority of the fans. Oh, can you believe what he said? Now that's the talking point this week. Can you believe that they said Moxley instead of Dean Ambrose? Like, they're acknowledging the other companies, which they've had since the beginning.
Wait, and then my next question is, and maybe I'm again reading more into it than it is. Does that put any likelihood in the fact that Mox is going to be in one of the guest appearances at the Royal Rumble?
I highly doubt it. He's been doing a whole bunch of other stuff and everything else. It's like, what purpose does it serve? The only purpose it serves, and again, fantasy booking, is Rollins wins the title because Moxley shows up. Do you know how the internet would break if something like that happened? I just don't believe that they will be able to do that. You want to talk about a forbidden door? Mickey James, who cares, to get thrown out of a Royal Rumble? But Jon Moxley coming back to take out Roman Reigns and make Seth Rollins the champ? Man, I would be going crazy for something like that.
It does bring up an interesting thought.
That's an incredible booking. I didn't even think of it in those terms. I like the way you're thinking.
If they would ever be willing to work together, AEW and WWE, could you imagine the cards that they could put together, especially right now? WrestleMania would be so sick. You could get Punk in there. You have
Bryan Danielson,
Kenny Omega working against Roman Reigns or something like that. Vince McMahon is always a person that I want to make money. Yeah, but he also never liked to punch down to the competition either. But
because
I'll tell you,
there's a story about
I'd be tempted.
About the Paul Heyman promo that he cut on Vince McMahon, and Paul Heyman said, before the promo, "Do you want me to tell you what I'm going to say?" He goes, "Nope." "Is it going to draw money?" And Paul Heyman said, "Yeah, it'll draw money." He goes, "That's all I care about."
Yeah, it's. Boy.
Yeah, but I think CM Punk would care if he had to go. He'd be like, "I ain't going over there."
Yeah, he's kind of persona non grata. But then you thought Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley would be too, and now he gets his name mentioned on WWE TV.
And it's been, and whether it be Ambrose or Moxley, in the last several weeks, his name has been mentioned quite a bit, and his face has been shown in a lot of video packages.
Yeah, of course. If you didn't know, Moxley was out for 3 months rehabbing, I believe for alcohol addiction.
Big difference with Moxley and CM Punk. Moxley chose to leave. He hated the storylines, the scripting. He never had issues with the company the way CM Punk did. So, but again, yeah, that'd be great if I was booking it. I'd say, Tony Khan, how can we get Moxley to cost Roman Reigns the belt?
See, I saw it the other way as him costing Seth, because the Usos now can't come down. That Moxley comes down and helps Roman Reigns retain over Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's usually the babyface way to do it. Like, we've done that where somebody's barred from ringside, and then all of a sudden somebody else got involved to cost that guy the match. But it could be done either way.
Yeah, it would be fun.
See, I'm beaming just thinking about that right now.
If we could all get our little action figures and our ring, and do what we wanted to do,
or the video game, yeah. But see, I'm beaming thinking about Mox coming down and helping. I think that'd be phenomenal.
Man, you are just in a teenage girl's dream right now.
Reigns laying there, and all of a sudden Moxley runs through the crowd. He gives him the dirty deeds. Rollins lays on him. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That could be the greatest. That would be the greatest moment in WWE history, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jericho gives him the Judas effect.
Jericho's got to get back there sometime. But, of course, this is the Mark Hoke Show. We are live here on KDWN 101.5 FM on that FM dial. The AM dial is 720.
Listen to us on FM. We sound much better. My dulcet tones are much lovelier on the FM side.
Listen to Joe Buston on AM radio. Unbelievable.
I just know when I turn on my AM radio, it don't work very well. When you get the FM version of it,
just remember,
it actually works.
Joe grew up on AM radio.
I did. I did my first wrestling show on KLAV.
Boy, I was at KLAV too. How did I
miss you? We're allowed to mention the competition. That's where I met the phenomenal John Lindquist.
Yes.
I always thought it was the phenomenal AJ Styles.
No, John Lindquist is more phenomenal than AJ Styles. Of course, John is the voice that you hear in our
The Mark Hoke Show.
Yeah. The golden voice. By the way, one other thing that I did want to mention about AEW. By the way, Fish, how are you sitting right now? You good?
Yeah.
Well, okay, just making sure you were good for the 90. Because I don't want to miss. I don't want you to miss your Royal Rumble predictions.
I'm good for the 90.
Okay, we're good. All right.
Okay, we're gonna make it sure. I thought you were going to say you had hemorrhoids or something.
Yeah, that too.
Don't get me.
That's why I have a cushion under my butt.
What is going on here? Producer Jared,
look, how he was sitting, so that was the first thing that came to mind.
Our producer Jared is actually pacing in the booth. We've been cracking him up, though.
It's because Joe knows I'm a giant pain in the butt, so we had to ask about the hemorrhoids.
Oh God.
Hey-o.
Well, oh wow. AEW, by the way, beat Raw in the 18-49 demo last week.
Here we go.
Dude,
we go. Bring up the 97 different ways to where AEW can say they won.
Just wanted to throw it out there.
Right now,
there was a playoff game.
Right now, everything is beating Raw. Raw is just horrible, the product.
Yeah, the AEW did a 0.44 rating in the 18-49 demographic. Raw was a 0.43. So it's technically another even though Monday Night Raw was going against a playoff game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're having issues selling out the building, and things are not going well for Monday Night Raw right now from everything I'm reading.
Yeah. And the demographic where all of the parents buy stuff for their kids, Raw is demolishing AEW.
That's true.
That is very true.
Important thing.
Yeah, because I would imagine that WWE is out merching AEW by quite a bit.
Yeah,
the Green Bay Packers, had way more offense than San Francisco yesterday. So we're going to change it and say Green Bay won the game. How's that?
You guys are probably bitter on your tickets too, by the way. I just thought
no. I had San Francisco.
I Green Bay, so I was getting 8 points. I'm okay.
I had San Francisco, so I'm fine.
Really?
With it. Yeah.
Good for you.
Now the question is today when I have the Rams and Bills, if I can cash.
Me too. I teased them both, but I do big teasers, so I'm getting like 15 points on each.
I'm getting 8.5 and 8.5 on both.
And then I was, like I said earlier, I got my Rams Bills Super Bowl ticket, $15 that pays $525 that they would meet in the Super Bowl. So the best thing that happened to me is Cincinnati and San Francisco winning.
Absolutely.
If the Rams win and the Bills win, they both got at least a home field going into the championship.
Yep, and that means Joe's buying dinner.
Did you hear him go silent on that?
I'm gonna buy dinner for you at the Silver Nugget on the 4th.
Trust me, I'm going. I cannot wait for the Mecca event. It's going to be so fantastic.
Yeah, and I just got my schedule clear thanks to producer Jared here. And Joe, while we got a little bit of time because we're gonna spend that last half hour on the Royal Rumble.
Yay!
It's Rumble. You love the Rumble.
Every 90 seconds we'll have a new match to talk about.
But Joe, tell us a little bit about your event
Mecca
coming up for Future Stars of Wrestling. This Mecca card is stacked.
Yeah, it started with Ring of Honor that we ran a show, and Ring of Honor was in town for their anniversary, which they've done for the last, 5 years. And we tried to do this event, and it wasn't the Mecca. We just did a regular show like the Sunday after, and we realized it was the most poorly attended casino show we had done. So the next year, I talked to Brian Cage a lot, and, he helped me bring in Keith Lee and Sami Callihan. And that's when the Mecca was born, to where, there was a lot of fans from outside Vegas. People would come in for the anniversary show for Ring of Honor, and we've just continually built it to where, all the guys on the show, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Sami Callihan, we had Cross, we had Dreamer, all the big name guys. And we did one show right before the pandemic in March, and it's taken us almost 2 years, and we had some issues with the other venue, and we're going back to where we started, the Silver Nugget. Killer Cross will be making his first post-WWE appearance at our show, which, for people who don't know, we trained Cross. He's bringing Scarlett. We got Davey Richards, Chris Bay, and Hammerstone, two of our regulars, to go along with the Brian Cage and Jacob Fatu, and a who's who of professional wrestling. And we are, excited. Hammerstone, Cage, and Davey Richards is going to be awesome, and Cross against Jacob Fatu, Sam Adonis, who's an international AAA superstar who we've used a few times. This past year had a phenomenal match with Psycho Clown. And these are the shows that I personally live for. Where I run a school, and we run some smaller shows, and we're trying to get the experience on the younger guys. But the Mecca, that excites me because it's the best of the best, and trying to bring him in and bringing him to Vegas for the fans to, see one of the best shows that they're going to see this year, bar any wrestling company.
I have never been more excited for a show than I am for this Mecca event. The card just, to me, sounds so absolutely phenomenal.
You got a good mixture of some of our great younger talent guys that have been mainstays in FSW, and then all of a sudden, a hot commodity on the East Coast is working at AEW. Casey Navarro gets to be in a four-way match with TJ Perkins, one of the best in the world, with our No Limits champion, who has really made waves, even got to appear on Impact, and they liked him enough that they actually did, a vignette with the Iconics and Jay Vidal and Damian Drake, who just came off an Iron Man match, and he's a guy. These are the guys that we're using from FSW. And no offense to all the other guys, but these are the cream of the crop. These are the guys that we're hoping will be getting signed by the big companies within the next year or two. So Matt Vandegrift, who is one of the hottest wrestlers, going today, and he's wrestling Chris Bay. So it's like a lot of these matches are like, let's see where this guy is. And I think the crowd's gonna love it. We've oversold first row, and we're moving on trying to sell out that second row. So we're expecting the biggest crowd that we've had in a long time.
That's so awesome.
So go to FSW Vegas right now. Get your tickets.
Oh, without question.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Greets available with Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux. We have a fan fest that's going to start at 5:30.
I just want to do the personal meet and greet with Scarlett.
Yeah, you want to get your butt kicked is what you want to do, pal. Oh, my God.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's going to be a great night. So
I cannot wait for that Mecca event. That's going to be just phenomenal.
The last FSW show I got to go to was absolutely outstanding. And if I didn't think it was, I wouldn't say it. But I got to tell you, I had such a great time at that show, and everyone just did a fantastic job. You're going to be thrilled if you go to that FSW Vegas show in Mecca on the 4th. So get your tickets now, kids. It's going to be a hoot.
It's the one show you're going to see with guys who work for Impact, like Willie Mack, Ring of Honor, Kenny King, AAA, AEW. Like, everybody is representing, fresh off WWE with Cross and Scarlett, and MLW with Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, and Davey Richards. So you're going to get, like, every major wrestling promotion is going to have somebody on that show.
Yep. And most importantly, Joe DeFalco will be there.
That's right. And I got D'Lo Brown on commentary, as well as Melissa Santos from Lucha Underground and
Nice.
Brian Cage's wife, and she will be our ring announcer for the day. So we're not only loading it up with the wrestlers, we're loading it up with, the ring announcer, the commentary. The only thing we're not loading it up with is referees because they generally suck anyway. So.
Wow. By the way, I get to meet Melissa at the last event that, when Cage wrestled Hammerstone, and some goofball in the seats was actually busting on her about some stuff because she had made some comments about Brian's situation, and that didn't.
Well, we should thank her.
That didn't end well.
If it wasn't for her, Brian Cage wouldn't be able to wrestle on Friday night at my show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Any chance we can get guest timekeeper Mark Hoke?
I just want to ring the bell. I want to ring.
We actually have one of our fans, George. He's like the honorary, bell keeper, which we don't have to pay him, and he buys it. He actually pays us to ring the bell. So.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Well, I'm not paying.
He's bringing 11 of his people for the front row. So,
Vaulter not wrestling. Sorry, Mark.
He's not Vaulter anymore.
And we'll be debuting our new character, Adolf Stark is going to.
Yikes! Wow, the Mark Hoke show has just devolved again.
Yeah, Zoe Stark's second cousin.
Well, is Johnny Knoxville going to be there? Is the question. Of course,
no. We're trying to get Wee Man.
Wee Man would be awesome. Of course, Johnny Knoxville is going to be in the Royal Rumble, if you can believe that.
The odds-on favorite, ain't he?
We're gonna talk about all those odds because I got to tell you, I got to look at them last night on. Excuse me. What is the site?
Paddy Power?
No, it's not Paddy. BetOnline.au, and there are some interesting and hilarious things that are on these betting odds for the Royal Rumble. But Johnny Knoxville's going to be there. He's been interacting with Sami Zayn. They did something silly with a cattle prod. I don't know what the hell that was.
Sami Zayn re-signed. We didn't bring him up yet.
Yeah, it just was not good.
El Generico.
But that's right. Sami Zayn, of course, re-signing with WWE. So he'll be sticking around with his buddy Kevin Owens for a while. When we come back
they needed somebody to carry Owens back.
Yeah, there you go. When we come back, it's Royal Rumble Mania as we discuss the predictions for the Royal Rumble, what's been going on in our bonus half hour. So stick around. We got Andrew Fish, Fain and Joe DeFalco, and myself, Mark Hoke. We will be right back after the news. Stick around with us.
.105 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, man. The bonus half hour. This should be quality entertainment. I'm Mark Hoke. Joe DeFalco on the line from Future Stars of Wrestling. And Andrew Fish Fain, who, by the way, will be doing his guest hosting gig on SportsX Radio tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific here on KDWN, 101.5 FM, 720 AM.
I heard he's going to give out the winners tomorrow of the Buffalo Kansas City game.
He probably will.
That's the one time I'll get it right.
But Fish has lost his mind. So,
well, I decided that if they're gonna name him Adolf, he's gonna have a valet named Ava.
Oh, God, Fish.
If you're going to do it, you got to do it. You got to go full blown.
Exactly.
That's right. You got You got to go through the wall, man. You got to go 1,000 miles an hour.
And then his two goons are gonna
stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
No,
it would be the Harris brothers.
Yeah, they're gonna be Herman and Joseph.
Okay, we're done with the Walter Gunther jokes. Thank you.
Where's Samba Simba when you need him?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, before we get into talking about the Royal Rumble here on the number one professional wrestling show in Las Vegas and worldwide, possibility that the WWE is changing the date for Money in the Bank, which is going to be at Allegiant Stadium. They may be pushing it up to July 3rd
instead of
July 2nd because there is a UFC event that is going to be happening on the 2nd. So they may be moving Money in the Bank to Sunday, July 3rd.
And they're also changing the name of the Elimination Chamber. Is that correct?
Yeah, who knows?
They've lost WWE last year during SummerSlam, they kind of messed it up for us to do the shows that we were trying to do. So now I saw, okay, July 2nd, we're going to do the Mecca July 3rd, the day after. We're going to have some big WWE guys in town. I was just ready to try to secure the date, and now you tell me this? Come on.
Well, lucky WrestlingInc.com had the news up, so now you know in plenty of time.
Well, now
It's
I have
January.
to wait for them to decide which one they're going to do.
Well,
the more you know.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's talk Royal Rumble. Of course, the Royal Rumble is coming up on Saturday. Fish loves the Royal Rumble. It's
by far my favorite event.
So Fish is going to be a little bit excited here. But let's go down through the card, and there's some funny stuff on the betting sites. This is I don't even know what to say, but I feel bad for a certain returning legend, as they called this person.
Lita?
No.
Beth Phoenix?
No.
Mickey James?
Summer Rae. We're going to talk about where
good
Summer
Lord.
Rae is on the big board here.
Yeah, they gave her an intro at SmackDown and it seemed that nobody cared. And they said, Nashville's own Summer Rae, and nobody applauded, nobody cared.
She's been gone for a while, but so let's take a look at some of the matches before we get into the actual Rumble matches. First one, Becky Lynch takes on Doudrop for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. What the hell was that, Joe?
It was him snoring through the match.
I dozed off.
See?
Becky Lynch is a minus 1,200.
Oh, there's the spoiler alert, the upset special, the mortgage closer, as I like to call it. Bet on Doudrop.
Minus 1,200. Doudrop is a plus 750. Guys, any chance?
No.
They pull the trigger on this? Any chance at all?
No.
Only if John Moxley comes in and costs Becky Lynch, that would really take a shot at Seth Rollins.
Ooh, then you'd start a love triangle with Doudrop and Renee Paquette. And
oh, good Lord!
What a disaster that would be. Yeah, I got no shot of Becky Lynch losing this match.
No, I will be impressed if she can manhandle Slam Doudrop though.
Yeah.
I recommend anybody who has $12,000 laying around, put it on Becky Lynch, pick up a quick $1,000. It's a bigger lock than Mike Tyson beating Buster Douglas.
If you want to risk it, knock yourself out.
There you go.
But it is true. That's probably the biggest lock of the night. So.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So that one's out of the way. Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on The Miz and Maurice in this mixed tag team match. Edge and Phoenix should be the favorites here. They are minus 500.
They'll destroy him, especially after the brick to the head last week.
The brick to the head was great. That was old school bashing right there. The loaded purse.
Right, especially, Edge and Beth Phoenix need to get their revenge after the Miz and Maurice, beat Edge at the last pay-per-view.
Well, imagine that this week on Raw they're doing Maurice's big birthday celebration. What could possibly happen?
Oh, it's always a celebration.
Isn't it, though?
Some flying cake, I'm guessing. hopefully it's not like the whole pie thing that we had earlier.
Oh, good Lord.
But are you guys expecting anything out of this match? I mean, obviously you still got some great performers in the ring here. And I know not a lot of people are really excited about this, But could this be a match that people are going to really get into and enjoy?
Not to sound sexist, I think that Edge and Miz can put on a great show. I'm not so sure about Beth Phoenix and Maurice. I don't know the last time Maurice was in the ring. I think Beth Phoenix could get in the ring at any time and be amazing, but just because of who she is. But I'm not so sure about Maurice.
But we've already seen Edge and Miz in the ring, so I'm pretty sure nobody really cares the first time. So
he makes a good point.
Yeah, but still, Joe. I mean, is this a match?
Oh, they're great, but it's like nobody cares about the feud. So the only thing people are going to care about is probably when the women are in there, to see what they can do. Beth Phoenix, was very, very good. And it's been a long time, so, she can get that good, she is somebody that people do care about. So, and Maurice, I was always a big fan of hers, so, I'm more intrigued about where that dynamic's going.
I always liked Maurice, and the one thing that, other than the wrestling talent was, man, she could be just arrogant and
she's perfect for the
nasty, and she was just, her character was something else. She got attention.
I will bet that she gets glam slammed.
Okay, I would say odds are pretty good on that. I can't take that bet. I'm with you on that one, but we'll see if this match turns out to be anything. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Then we have the championship matches. I'm going to Rollins and Reigns first because I have a feeling we're going to disagree on the other one here. Roman Reigns will be defending the Universal title against his former Shield mate and the man he has never beaten one-on-one, Seth Rollins.
And the Usos are barred from ringside.
So no Usoage. This is just going to be a one-on-one. Let's duke it out. Reigns and it's funny, he and Lesnar are about the same here. Reigns a minus 240, Seth Rollins a plus 165. Rollins any shot to walk out of this match with the Universal title.
My prediction is that Kevin Owens comes to ringside and actually costs Rollins the match, because that's the dynamic they're setting up, that they're best friends right now, and Kevin Owens always turns on his best friend. I think that he screws, not to help Roman Reigns, just to help himself more than anything else. I think he screws Seth Rollins, and that's how Roman Reigns wins.
Interesting theory. Joe, what are your thoughts on how this match is going to go?
Well, I think it's not going to be a one and done, so that would either mean that, I don't think Rollins is winning the belt either. So it's going to have to be what Fish said, which is somebody else getting involved. It costs Rollins, which still keeps him in line for a title shot. Or the opposite, somebody comes in and somehow, Reigns gets DQ'd or whatever, because it's the Royal Rumble. That's the focus of the show. So to do a title change is something I would never do, because I always want those moments to be a big deal. And if it's overshadowed by the Rumble, then you didn't really accomplish what you were looking to do. I'm looking at it strictly as a promoter, guy who runs a show, how I would do it.
That's
and
an
I
excellent
wouldn't
point.
Switch a belt.
Yeah, I never thought about it in those terms. That makes a ton of sense, that you don't take away from the main event of the show, which is the two Royal Rumble matches.
Great. So that means I'm going to absolutely get destroyed here by you two. Coming up here, Brock Lesnar against Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Lesnar a minus 230, Lashley a plus 160. I have a theory on this one.
I think Lashley has a better shot to beat Lesnar than Rollins does to beat Reigns at this event, but I still think Lesnar wins.
Joe, I'll give you your shot, and then I'm going to let you guys tear me apart for what I'm going to say.
Okay, well, I can look at it this way. If Lashley wins, then Lesnar comes back and wins the Rumble.
Well, will you look at that?
Did I steal your thunder?
You did.
Yes, you did, because
but that's happened before. That's the only reason why I don't think it happens again.
See, the situation that I think that they've got right now is if both guys hold on to the title, somebody's going to win the Rumble. So then somebody's got to wrestle, is going to take their shot to be in the main event at WrestleMania. So then you would have to turn it into a three-way match, because you
still have two pay-per-views before WrestleMania as well. You have Fastlane and the Elimination Chamber that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. You can have a title change happen to either one of those two as well.
You could, but I actually think that was my theory, that I think Lesnar's the bloodline is going to screw Lesnar out of the title. Lashley wins the belt, and then Lesnar comes back and wins the Rumble. That's where I think to get everything back on track is where you take it. So, Joe, you're in agreement with me on that?
I am, but what I think is going to happen is Brock Lesnar is going to climb. Oh, it's the Royal Rumble. I was thinking. I was going to say Mustafa Ali is going to cost Lesnar, and he's going to win.
No money in the bank or cash in the case, Joe.
Yeah, forget it.
So then you've already given out your winners for the Royal Rumble, apparently, because both of you think it's Brock Lesnar.
I think so. I
have... Well, I'm not giving out the winner. I'm saying if that's what happens.
Okay. There's
now we have to go with the scenario that doesn't happen. Then who's going to win the Royal Rumble?
Fair enough.
Okay, and I'm down with that. So we'll get to that possibility in a little bit. Ladies Royal Rumble match. A lot of people coming in, all sorts of fun stuff happening.
So how many people do they have odds on? The reason why I ask is because obviously there's 30 entrants. We don't know all the entrants yet.
It's a ridiculous amount.
Have they given away anything like entrants we didn't know were entering that are on the odds chart?
They normally do that. I remember seeing one time where like Cross was in NXT and he was like on the odds for the Royal Rumble. I personally think Eva Marie's going to come back and actually win the Rumble.
Joe! God, next time that guy Fish talks about Dominic Mysterio turning on his dad, or Joe talks about Eva Marie, Jared, turn the mics off. 2-minute penalty. All right.
If you're going to bring Summer Rae back, how could you not bring Eva Marie back?
Well, they brought Summer Rae back with Eva Marie's hair. So,
speaking of Summer Rae, this is one of the goofiest things on the list, and I'm gonna start at the bottom of the betting odds for this. Summer Rae is officially the non-favorite in a tie with Stephanie McMahon on the board to not win the Royal Rumble. They are both plus 25,000. Summer Rae at 25,000
to 1
is below, tied with Stephanie McMahon. She's below Kelly, who is at 10,000. Michelle McCool is at plus 10,000. Dana Brooke is in the 10,000. Tamina is in that category. Casey Cannizzaro is there as well. Candice LeRae in the plus 10,000.
Candice LeRae is still pregnant, or did she have the baby?
That's all.
No,
I'm
I don't
say.
think she had. Yeah,
she did not have the baby.
Yeah, so she's not in the Royal Rumble. That'd be a hell of a surprise.
Could you imagine that?
I just want to say, Vince McMahon, if you're listening, ship me $10,000. We'll bet it on Summer Rae, and we'll become rich.
That would be.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Your next grouping.
Insider trading is allowed on Bet Online, if you happen to know. So,
your next grouping is Maurice and Aaliyah at plus 8,000. Mickie James, Queen Zelina, Nikki ASH, Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Kaylee Ray, Dakota Kai, and Lacey Evans on the board at plus 6,600.
Returning Lacey Evans.
Be interesting. Trish Stratus plus 5,000.
She hasn't even been announced.
Carmella, Shotzi Blackheart, Sonya Deville plus 4,000. Mandy Rose at plus 33. Ronda Rousey is on the board at plus 2,500. Okay.
So if you bet her and she doesn't appear, do you get your money back?
I doubt it, because that would be a really stupid bet. But listen, Summer Rae is in this event at plus 25,000, and Ronda Rousey is not at 2,500.
Well, you can stop giving the odds, because I can tell you who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble already.
Well, I'm not done yet. We got Mandy Rose also in that. Well, Mandy Rose was 33. Lita's at 2,500. Io Shirai 2,500. Shayna Baszler 2,000. My possible pick, Asuka, is a plus 1,800. Might not be a bad bet right there. Liv Morgan 16. Paige is at 14. So she's on the board. Charlotte Flair at 12. Raquel Gonzalez 1,000, along with Sasha Banks, who's hurt, so I don't know how she's going to go. Rhea Ripley at plus 8. Alexa Bliss plus 6. Bayley is your second favorite at plus 500, and Bianca Belair is the favorite, 300. Joe, let me go Joe first. I'm gonna hold fish up on this. Joe, who's gonna win the Rumble?
300, you can never bet.
Right. So who do you like on the women's side?
Well, Bailey's overdue to get that big push again. So
if she can come
I'd go with her.
I think it's one of the three returning people. I think it's either Bailey, Asuka, or Lacey Evans. Because I forgot Lacey Evans is probably going to return here too.
Or Ronda Rousey, because if she shows, she'd be returning.
Yes, but I doubt that she's showing. I would imagine the other three will be there, and I think
if she did,
I think Asuka is probably the best choice.
How did Paige get on board?
Because Paige has been working.
Ronda Rousey shows, she wins.
That's a good point. I would agree. If Ronda Rousey does show up, I think she wins. I think if Paige shows up, she wins because Paige has been working her butt off to get back, and she has been cleared apparently.
Really?
So I need to get the spoiler alert. I got to find out from my inside sources that if Ronda Rousey is going to be on the show, she's got to win. So that'd be the lock bet.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. If Bailey shows up, I think she wins, but I think Asuka would be the other.
Yeah, I would agree, but I think it's going to be someone who's just returning, whether it be Bailey, Asuka, whether it be Ronda Rousey, whether it be Lacey Evans, one of those.
Or Eva Marie.
Jeez.
Or Dominic Mysterio.
That would be a return.
Dominica Mysterio wins the Women's Royal Rumble. All right, so there
it's
we
like
are.
Santina.
There we are on the. Yeah, you picked that up. Good. Go into the men. Are you ready?
That doesn't sound right at all.
Are you ready for this one? This is something else too. Vince McMahon is on the board at plus 25,000. Followed by his son Shane at 10.
So Vince McMahon and Summer Rae have the same respective chance to win their Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, that is correct. Mick Foley listed at plus 10,000, along with The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Johnny Knoxville also in that spot at plus 10,000. This one's a little low. Montez Ford is also a plus 10,000. I don't think he's going to win, but
he could be a plus 100,000. He ain't winning.
Yeah, but still, that's a little disrespectful to Montez. Angelo Dawkins plus 10, also Dominic Mysterio in that group.
But yet Ray is. See, I'm telling you, Dominic's pissed off now that Ray's got better odds to win it than he does, so he's going to turn on him.
Oh God, Johnny Gargano plus 8, Apollo Crews 6,600, along with Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, Pete Dunne, Happy Corbin, and all in that group. Braun Breaker, they have Gable Steveson on the board at plus 5.
CM Punk?
Tommaso Ciampa, Cesaro at plus 5. Bray Wyatt is on the board at plus 4,000.
I like that.
Sami Zayn, Xavier Woods, Sheamus, Samoa Joe, who got released, is in that group. I don't know how that happens.
Swerve that would be.
Yeah, but if Bray Wyatt appears at the show, he's winning the Royal Rumble.
Strowman at plus 3,300.
And I think he may show up.
Riddle
would be a tie.
Riddle 25, along with John Cena, Austin Theory, Edge, Randy Orton in that group. Damian Priest plus 22. Finn Balor, Kevin Owens. Well, that's low at plus 2,000 for in the same group as Finn Balor. Really?
That's funny because you haven't even said almost yet.
I know.
That's frightening.
I'm getting there.
You haven't got to AJ Styles either.
Seth Rollins plus 1,800, Bobby Lashley plus 16. Omos is the 7th favorite, plus 1,400. The Rock is in there at plus 12. Not kidding. AJ Styles
I
plus.
think if he enters, he's got a good shot, though.
I would think so. AJ Styles plus 1,000. Drew McIntyre 900. Roman Reigns 800. Big E 350. Brock Lesnar 350.
So they have basically Brock Lesnar and Big E as the co-favorites.
That is correct.
Big E, they just took the belt off him. Like they're going to give him the win to give it back. Like that's the worst odds than the Vince McMahon being there.
And I do think it's interesting the two names that were left off are the Usos.
Are they going to? Well, we'll see if they're in the match.
I could see either one or both
of
them.
People aren't going to be in the match.
Yeah, I could see Jimmy and or Jay being in it and or winning it, but I don't know who's going to win the male Royal. I really have no idea. The male Royal Rumble, I have no idea who's going to win it.
It's pretty wide open. If the scenario that Joe and I put up doesn't happen, Because I will take Brock Lesnar, but otherwise,
like I said, it depends on the timing of the match. If they have the men's Royal Rumble before they have the Brock Lesnar match, you obviously can't have Lesnar winning the Rumble.
AJ Styles?
Could
Styles or Owens?
I would look at McIntyre over Owens.
Although McIntyre's still injured.
Yeah,
McIntyre's trying to get McIntyre's trying to get ready for WrestleMania, not Rumble.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So he's, Big
Happy
E
Corbin
plus 350 is no shot whatsoever. So, if you're willing to take a shot, you got guys in that 8 to 15 range that have as good a shot as anybody.
And like I said, I think it really matters the timing of the bout, because if you have the men's Royal Rumble as the opener of the show, because I believe last year they had the women's Royal Rumble open the show. If they have the men's Royal Rumble open the show, then having Lesnar win it makes no sense.
I can't believe they would. That's the marquee match of the entire show is the men's Royal Rumble. So, but as much as I love AJ, he's just been in a tag for so long. Usually WWE doesn't just pull a guy out of nowhere. Like when Drew got over on Brock at the Rumble, we were watching Drew McIntyre pushed hard.
Yes, we
were.
were.
That was the culmination of it. For AJ Styles to go from putting over almost 1 week to now winning the Rumble the next just seems like that would be far-fetched to me.
Maybe Kevin Owens is the guy.
Could be. They want to, he re-signed. Why did he re-sign? Well, besides the big money, people get promised things.
Maybe that's why he screws over Seth Rollins.
And he's the guy that the crowd responds to. He's over. Vince loves him. It might be he's always been that guy in the last year or so that always seemed to be the guy to lose in those big matches. So, now might be the time. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens for the win.
Wow, and I think I'm going to go
Sami
there
Zayn.
other than my Brock Lesnar pick.
I think Kevin Owens is actually a very good call.
All right, so there you go. So and if you want to put money on this stuff, like I said, it's on betonline.ag.
And Kevin Owens, what, plus 3,000 you said?
Owens is plus 2,000.
Plus 2,000. That's still pretty good odds.
Yeah, it's not bad. I apologize. betonline.ag. I do apologize to their site. Wow. So there you go. So there's our Royal Rumble picks.
Next Sunday, we'll be able to find out how right we were.
Yeah. We're actually going to be on the air after that. Well, and of course, the Saturday night show, we should still be on the air while the Rumble's going. So that could be a fun show to listen to.
Let's get ready to Royal Rumble.
Oh, careful. I have Bruce's number, but I do not have Michael's. He's up there. All right. So make sure you follow Fish at the Fish 1969. Woo! Joe FSW Vegas. You got at Mark Hoke Show on Twitter, the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook, and of course, download those podcasts, markhokeshow.podbean.com. Thanks for being with us, everybody, on another edition of the Mark Show. We'll see you on Saturday night. Have a great rest of your weekend, Las Vegas.